Above everything floats the question of how the city center can be revitalized. One answer to this is the temporary use of vacant space as a meeting forum for artists and designers with interested members of the public. Here in Würzburg, fashion design, art and interested ladies and gentlemen of the locals are coming together for the first time at 3 completely different locations. An exciting experiment.
It's great that art in everyday life, right in the middle of the city, without great hurdles and without having to pay admission or go to galleries where some have reservations. Meet each other here in the Bear Hall and other places. Artists and designers of different disciplines present their work.
Künstler und Designer unterschiedlicher Sparten ihre Arbeit präsentieren.
Wir sind hier im Marktplatz 26.
We are here in the Marketplace 26 in a vacancy, and we make it a filled space with fashion, with design, with sustainable coffee capsules. In fact, we present here our designers through the Council for Art and Design.
Und zwar stellen wir hier unsere Designer vor, über den Council für Kunst und Design.
In 2010, I made a study trip to Uzbekistan, where I visited the stretches of Uzbek countryside, the endless expanse of the desert, and, above all, saw with my own eyes the heat that hung over the cotton plantations. I would like to reflect this expression in my textile pictures. I am Mary Elegansuig. I am a freelance artist and live and work in Haula and Dezala. For today's exhibition, I have brought part of my diploma thesis, which I completed in 2020.
I design and create extraordinary costumes, both physical and digital, and usually with a historical setting. In addition to my work at the Sitter Theatre as a robe master and costume designer, I specialize in creating 3-dimensional costumes. I'm optimistic about the future because I believe digital fashion will help us save resources. Expensive prototypes become obsolete, as well as expensive photo shoots and post-processing. I make the future. I believe in art.
I founded the fashion label Pin Lodge to get Loden out of its traditional costume niche and away from hunting, because I believe that Loden can also be glammy, Loden can be fashion, Loden can be cool, and Loden can go downtown. Loden is so good because that's a high-tech material, basically from nature. It's water repellent, wind and heat balancing, and why shouldn't it be able to do that fashionably and in the city?
Anke Fries-Brammer does something very exciting. She takes photos of images from nature, technology, and house construction, preferably building ruins, lost places. She processes her photos graphically and prints her collection with the resulting artworks.
I am Julian Klim, and together with my co-founder Sasha Postel we run the Sustainability Cafe here at the ART.FASHION. Our coffee fits in perfectly here, because it is organic and fair trade coffee in a coffee capsule for the Nespresso system, but without aluminum, without plastic. The capsule is actually made of tree bark, which means after preparation, just throw this capsule on the compost heap. Within 60 days, the capsule has completely disintegrated, and all that remains is the high-quality coffee. As I said, organic and fair trade quality, which is quite excellent for all flowers, plants, and for the compost heap itself.
I started my sustainable label in 2019. I work in artist collaboration, which means I fuse art, fashion, and sustainability. In 2019, I started with the watercolors of my grandfather, architect Paul Schneider-Essleben, who painted a lot on his travels, and I implemented his watercolors and ink drawings for my sustainable collections, and now I work in artist collaboration, like Emil Schult. Emil Schult is the audiovisual artist from the band Kraftwerk.
Arbeite nun in Künstlerkooperation, wie zum Beispiel Emil Schult.
So I have been allowed to implement the Trans-Europa Express for my collection, from a bamboo viscose is made in Poland or fine merino from Amir and organic cotton from Saxony.
Aus einer Bambusviskose wird in Polen hergestellt oder fein merino aus Almere und Bio-Baumwolle aus Sachsen, das heißt, alle meine Kollektionen.
That is, all my collections are made locally. On site is embroidery, weaving, and printing. I have women produce in Lithuania, so 100% of women power.
Also 100% woman power.
Mein Label heißt Cowband Your Personal Collection.
My label is called Cowband Your Personal Collection, and my credo is, there is enough material which is left. You just have to use it creatively. Cowband, because I use leather from cattle. It's cowhide, so cowband is just the derivation, and that's belt leather, what's left over when you cut it lengthwise. That's new material, and I always combine the bracelets with beads. So they're completely closed and they always fit the arm very precisely. So they are not variable in length.
Passen immer ganz genau an den Arm, also sie sind nicht variabel in der Länge.
Lately, I've also been making keychains, since not everyone wears a bracelet. And here I can also use the shortest pieces, decorated for example here with springbok. This I have again from another designer who makes bags from it and just use small scraps.
Von einer anderen Designerin, die daraus Taschen macht und eben kleine Reste verwendet.
I come from fashion, and there is just too much material left over. Pattern materials such as lace, what I use, and so you can also wear a coarse leather strap to a summer dress, and this combination.
Lederarmband tragen und diese Kombination.
That was the very beginning. That was when I was studying at the University of Design in Pforzheim. I studied with Professor Ben Wiedekens, was quite funny, because he was or is an airbrusher. I was an airbrusher too, coming from a hobby background, but was familiar with the medium and with color, and almost from the start I had almost had a good semblance. At some point it resulted in saying, yes, watch out, we see vanishing lines. If we don't see them, then we'll build them for ourselves, because we need that vanishing point. We need this spatial context, and that's what I tried to recreate. That was the first image I made. At first, you actually believe that this image would pretend to have a spatial, great depth. At some point, the time came when I said, you should then move on. That would be a pity. In the meantime, I was on the road as a fashion designer throughout Germany, also internationally, and fashion fairs no longer take place in dreary exhibition halls but in some industrial wasteland, old factories. Everything that was somehow rusty appealed to me. I had a very, very large collection of pictures afterwards. Then I thought, now you have the pictures, they turn you on somewhere, what do you do with them? And then from the other corner of the brain came the thought, you could connect this theme here exactly with these ideas. By the way, this is the last picture I made.